Jack was a force of nature, and not in a good way. At 10 years old, he was a whirlwind of defiance, a master of mayhem who left a trail of destruction wherever he went. Toys were not played with, they were dismantled, their plastic limbs scattered across his room like the aftermath of a tiny, violent war. Walls were not just walls, they were canvases for his artistic expressions, usually rendered in permanent marker. His parents, Luna and Grace, were at their wits' end. They'd tried everything: grounding, timeouts, confiscating his beloved video games, even gentle persuasion. Nothing worked. Jack would simply shrug, a smirk playing on his lips, and find a new way to push their boundaries, to assert his chaotic reign. He'd shout back, slam doors, and treat every request as an invitation for a power struggle. The neighborhood kids learned to steer clear, and even the family dog, a usually boisterous golden retriever, would slink away at the sound of Jack's approaching footsteps. Luna often found herself staring blankly at the ceiling at night, replaying the day's battles, a knot of despair tightening in her stomach. Grace, usually the more stoic of the two, had started to show the strain, her once bright eyes now shadowed with worry. They felt like they were failing, utterly and completely, and the fear that Jack would grow into an even more destructive adult gnawed at them daily. One sunny afternoon, a small moving truck pulled up next door. Out stepped Aria, a woman whose silver hair seemed to catch the sunlight, her smile warm and gentle. She was elderly, with kind eyes that crinkled at the corners when she spoke. Over the next few days, Aria began to transform her small front yard. Where there had once been only patchy grass, she started to cultivate a vibrant flower bed, meticulously planting delicate blossoms of every color imaginable. It was a labor of love, a testament to patience and care. Jack, watching from his bedroom window, saw a new target. He saw the carefully arranged rows of petunias, marigolds, and forget-me-nots, and a mischievous, destructive idea sparked in his mind. One evening, after twilight had painted the sky in hues of purple and orange, Jack snuck out of his house. He crept through the gap in the fence, his heart thumping with a mix of adrenaline and anticipation. He stood before Aria's nascent garden, a masterpiece of quiet beauty, and then, with a wild grin, he began his work. He stomped through the tender shoots, pulling out flowers by their roots, scattering soil and petals in a chaotic frenzy. He laughed silently as he imagined Aria's reaction, anticipating a furious outburst, a satisfying display of adult frustration. He retreated back to his room, his chest puffed out with a sense of triumph, the scent of crushed flowers clinging faintly to his clothes. The next morning, Jack woke up early, eager to witness the fallout. He pressed his face against the cool glass of his window, expecting to see Aria storming out, perhaps even knocking on their door, ready to unleash a torrent of anger. But what he saw instead pierced through his usual armor of indifference. Aria was indeed in her garden, but she wasn't shouting. She wasn't even looking angry. She was kneeling amidst the devastation, her back to him, her shoulders slightly slumped. As she slowly turned, Jack saw her face. It wasn't a mask of rage, but of profound, quiet sorrow. Her eyes, usually so bright, were clouded with a deep, almost unbearable sorrow. Her hands, slightly trembling, began to gently, painstakingly try to replant a few broken stems, as if attempting to mend a shattered dream. Jack watched, a strange, unfamiliar sensation stirring in his chest. It wasn't the satisfaction he'd expected. It was something akin to a cold, heavy stone. Luna and Grace, having woken to the unusual quiet, also came to the window. Their faces paled as they took in the ruined garden and Aria's heartbreaking demeanor. Later that morning, there was a soft knock on their door. It was Aria. Luna braced herself for the inevitable confrontation, ready to offer profuse apologies and compensation. But Aria didn't accuse. She didn't demand. She simply spoke in a soft, steady voice. "I just wanted to tell you," she began, her gaze drifting towards her ruined garden. "This flower bed, it was a memorial. My late husband, he loved these specific flowers. Every year, for our anniversary, he would plant them for me. After he passed, I promised myself I'd keep his tradition alive. This was going to be the first one in our new home." She held up an old, faded photograph, a younger Arya beaming, standing beside her husband in a garden identical to the one she had tried to create. "It brought me so much joy planning it, planting it. I was looking forward to sharing its beauty with everyone." Her voice didn't break, but the quiet ache in it was more potent than any shout. Jack, who had been lurking just out of sight, heard every word. He saw the photograph, saw the love in Arya's eyes, and for the first time he saw the real human impact of his actions. It wasn't just a prank, it was an act of cruelty that had trampled on someone's cherished memories, someone's profound grief. The image of Arya's trembling hands, the story of her husband, the quiet heartbreak in her voice, it all crashed down on him. A wave of guilt, sharp and unfamiliar, washed over him, making his stomach churn. He felt small, ashamed, and utterly miserable. That afternoon, Jack did something he hadn't done in years. He opened his piggy bank, counted every coin, and walked to the local nursery. With his meager allowance, he bought a packet of new flower seeds, the very ones Arya had tried to plant. He returned home, his heart still heavy, but with a new resolve. He approached Arya's door, the packet clutched in his sweaty hand. "Arya," he mumbled, his voice barely a whisper, I'm so sorry. It was me. I destroyed your garden." He looked at his shoes, unable to meet her gaze. Arya knelt down, her kind eyes searching his. "I know, Jack," she said softly, without a trace of anger. "But thank you for telling me." She gently took the seed packet. "Would you like to help me plant them again?" Jack looked up, surprised. "Really?" he asked. Arya smiled. "Yes, really." Over the next few weeks, Jack spent every spare moment in Arya's garden. He dug, he watered, he pulled weeds. He didn't just help replant, he nurtured the new life, protecting it as if it were his own. Luna and Grace watched, stunned, as their unruly son transformed. He was still energetic, but the destructive edge was gone. He started helping around the house, speaking with respect, and even offering to walk the dog. The garden slowly bloomed again, more vibrant than before, a testament to a lesson learned not through shouts or groundings, but with the silent weight of regret and the profound beauty of making things right. Jack had learned that some lessons aren't taught with shouts or groundings, but with the silent weight of regret and the profound beauty of making things right.